Hello and welcome to CAP 029. I hope that the course has been going okay for you so far. Most of the course that you've experienced so far represents the content area of this course. You'll be learning about different science topics. You'll be exploring them through readings, videos, quizzes, submissions, discussions. The second part of the class, you are just going to begin this week. This part of the class contains a project. The project is worth a large portion of your grade. It's worth 55% of your total class grade. So it's not something to wait for the last minute on. The process of the project, meaning completing the steps as you go and your attention to detail on those steps, is worth 15% of your grade. The final project is worth 40% of your grade. So please be sure to keep up with this as we go. You'll be asked to do a small step of it each week. And each week you'll build on what you did the previous week. The project is designed for you to choose a topic of interest to you and design a question using a format of how does blank affect blank, and then you will analyze it using the scientific method. I will guide you through it weekly. So as you start thinking about what you're going to do your project on, think about simple. You don't want to have to spend money or a lot of extra time on items for this class. You also want it to be something interesting to you. And you're always also going to want your variables to be measurable. And we'll talk a little bit about that in next week's assignment. I'm going to show you Module 2.7, which is your first exposure to the project. And on the screen, you will see an image, and this image you will see on all steps of the scientific method project. So it tells you each step you're going to go through, and as you encounter that step, it will be highlighted. So you can see this week we're going to be working with brainstorming ideas. I'm going to take you back now, and we're just going to go through the modules so you can see how it's set up. So the first week, as we mentioned, you're brainstorming ideas. The second week, you're going to be submitting your questions and observations. Now remember, these questions and observations will be inspired based on what you did for your possible topics. Then, after you have a question and observation, you will work on your research and hypothesis. Again, you'll learn what that is when you get to that step and what we expect. The next week, you'll be working on designing your experiment and making a data table. The following week, you will be starting to gather your data and actually do the experiment at this time. So please don't rush ahead and try to do all these steps together. You'll be given feedback on each step, which will help you successfully complete the next step. The next step, you'll be planning your calculations and your graphs, so that's part of analyzing your data. In Module 8, you'll be doing data analysis. In Module 9, error analysis and conclusion. And then in week 10, you're going to actually submit your project and your peers will get to see what you've been working on. So this project has a lot of potential to be fun, but it's important to get a good start. So I'm going to show you a few things which might help you as you get started. So I'm going to click on 2.7, brainstorm ideas again. So it's important as you go to each step that you read what they're talking about. I give you some examples for each week, and there are also videos for many weeks. Underneath that, if you scroll down, you'll see that there is a rubric. Actually, there's a rubric for every assignment you'll be doing this term. So don't forget to look at that, as that's going to guide how you're going to complete the assignment. So look at how you're going to be scored. This will also ensure that when you get to the final project, that you've gotten all the pieces that you need in your final project. So please use the rubrics each time that you begin an assignment. So for this first week, you're going to be brainstorming activities. So I give you some examples here on activities that I like to do. And these activities just are things I enjoy doing. So you must have some things that you enjoy doing. So this is meant for you to just start thinking about what things you do regularly that you might explore more this term. Please be hesitant about just going online to look for ideas. A lot of the science project ideas online are not in the format that we're going to be using for this class. So while there's no harm in looking at what other people have done, you might not be so devoted to one idea that you can't be flexible with it, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the next page. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the page, and at the very bottom you can see this next. So I'm going to go to next because it's an easy way to move through the screens. And here we actually give you some sample questions and some sample projects. So please pay attention to what you're given. These might help you start to get some ideas of what you want to explore, what your final project might look like. The last thing I want to share with you is what to do after you submit. So after you submit an assignment, your teacher is going to look at it. After the teacher looks at it, they're going to give you comments and feedback. So it's important at that point to go to your grades and to look at the feedback your instructor gave you. So when you click on grades, if you go to the assignment that you have submitted, there'll be some icons next to the assignment. Click on those. That's how you get your instructor's feedback, and make those corrections, because making those corrections are going to get you prepared for the task of the next week. So to summarize, your project is you're going to be getting started on your project on 2.7. So I just wanted you to have an introduction. Please feel free to ask your instructor questions as they arise. Hope it goes well. I look forward to seeing what you come up with.